The invitation arrived on a Tuesday, thick and yellowed, smelling of dust and dried flowers. It was for a graduation at the Northwood Adult Learning Annex, a place most of us had forgotten. We came, our cars crawling up the unlit driveway. The school loomed, a hulking brick silhouette against a moonless sky. Inside, the foyer was vast and empty, a single bulb flickering overhead. We gathered in the centre. Maria, David, a few others. Dust motes floated in the flickering light. The building seemed to hold its breath, waiting for us to take our seats. The invitation had brought us back, but for what? Something was deeply, fundamentally wrong. Hand-painted signs and faded arrows led us down a long, narrow corridor. The air grew colder, lights sputtered, plunging us into darkness for moments at a time. Whispers slithered through the air, impossible to understand, but unmistakably there. Portraits lined the walls, their eyes following us in the flickering light. At last we reached the auditorium doors, massive, dark and cold to the touch. The hinges screamed as we stepped inside, hearts pounding. The darkness behind us felt alive. There was no turning back. The auditorium was vast, rows of empty velvet seats stretching into shadow. A single podium stood in a weak spotlight. The air was thick with dust and a metallic sweetness. Our names were handwritten on a seating chart, front row. It felt like an honour and a trap. Eyes seemed to watch us from the darkness. The velvet seats were damp and cold. For a moment I saw silhouettes behind us, perfectly still. I turned, nothing but empty seats. We were the show. The curtain was about to rise. The spotlight flared, harsh and white. A figure emerged, a tall, impossibly thin old man in a black academic gown. He glided to the podium, silent, eyes lost in shadow. The whispers ceased. Silence fell like a shroud. He cleared his throat, a dry, rustling sound. "Welcome," he rasped, "to the commencement exercises for the Northwood Adult Learning Annex, a class long overdue." His voice was ancient, barely moving his lips, gaze fixed above our heads. He spoke of tradition, legacy, and how Northwood never truly lets its students go. Once you are a part of Northwood, you are a part of it forever. Dread washed over me. This was no ordinary graduation. The air thickened with unspoken meaning. He opened a large leather-bound book, its pages yellow and brittle. "Let us begin the conferring of diplomas," he announced. The unseen audience stirred, a rustle of anticipation. We were not just being observed, we were being judged. 5 lonely figures in the front row waiting for our names. The ceremony had become a ritual. Our fate was about to be sealed. The headmaster began to read names from the ancient book. A chilling roll call. Eleanor Vance, James A. Tierney, names none of us recognized. After each, a cold spot formed nearby, the whispers growing louder. No one walked to the stage, but the room shifted. A new presence settling in. The unseen audience was growing. He was calling the names of ghosts. I whispered to David, "Who are these people?" He didn't know. Maria trembled beside me. We were trapped, forced to witness this ghostly graduation. Each name was a nail in a coffin, the room crowded with the dead. On the stage, a stack of diplomas tied with black ribbons. As each name was called, a scroll floated away, vanishing into the wings. We were witnessing a ritual for those who never left Northwood. The headmaster paused, finally looking at us. A slow, skeletal smile spread across his face. "And now," he whispered, "for our new alumni." He turned to a fresh page, ink still dark. The dead were done. It was our turn. The unseen audience leaned forward, hungry for what came next. "Maria Flores," the headmaster called. Maria gasped, frozen in fear. "Maria Flores," he repeated, voice sharp. The whispers rose, chanting her name. Maria stood, moving like a puppet, and walked to the stage. The headmaster placed a bony hand on her forehead. "You are now a permanent part of the Northwood legacy," he whispered. Maria's form shimmered, faded, then vanished. The whispers applauded, a rustling of dry leaves. "David Chen," the headmaster called next. David screamed, tried to run, but invisible hands dragged him to the stage. The same ritual, the touch, the whisper, the fade. Silence, 2 down, 3 to go. The headmaster looked at me, smiling wide. He didn't need the book, he knew my name. As he opened his mouth, the lights flickered and went out. Silence, the cold, the presence, gone. The lights returned. I stood alone in a derelict auditorium. No stage, no headmaster, just rotting seats and decay. In my hand, a rolled diploma tied with a black ribbon. I caught my reflection in broken glass. I could see the wall behind me, right through my own fading hand. The ceremony was over. But Northwood would never let us go.